Let's get more on this from Mehrdad Khonsari. He's a former Iranian diplomat, and he joins us now from London. Mehrdad, what is Iran trying to achieve with this standoff in the Gulf?
Well, I think that very hardliners are in Iran who are probably responsible for this action. This is part of their ploy, as we have seen with other actions, such as the threats they have made about the resumption of producing enriched uranium beyond the capacities agreed to in the nuclear agreement. They're striving to control public opinion within Iran at this crucial time when economic factors are, playing havoc with the lives of ordinary citizens, diverting attention to outside aggressors and issues of this nature, which one sees very commonly, when from regimes of this nature, when their backs are pushed against the wall. Sadly, we have a situation where both in Iran and in the United States, the voices of moderation have been muted. And we take solace in the fact that perhaps President Trump himself is more moderate than some of the people around him who are trying to push, the pressures against Iran to a much higher level. And of course, you have a situation where many regional states are provoking a situation that might get out of hand. I mean, this event is a godsend thing for Saudi Arabia because it completely diverts attention away from the Khashoggi file. And, others who are anxious to see the United States get embroiled in some sort of a face-to-face conflict with Iran.
Well, and you also have Israel urging the international community to back the U.S. on this. But we know that the Supreme Leader has said that he will not negotiate. What would it take for Iran to return to the negotiating table?
Well, I mean, they have to see some sign, some daylight at the end of the tunnel. So far, what the United States is saying is they're imposing conditions. They have started an economic war against Iran, which has made life extremely tough. No similar sanctions have been imposed on any country in recent memory. And what is Iran supposed to do? Come to a negotiating table to be told or to be dictated to by terms, the 12-point terms that Secretary of State Pompeo stated some few months ago, which is totally preposterous. If, on the other hand, there was some notion through back channels, through mediators, that were Iran to come, that at least certain sanctions would be released, Iran would be allowed to sell its oil to be able to service some of the needs and requirements of its people, for this to be mentioned, up front, then there is an incentive for the Iranians to want to come and join these talks. But by being put under these conditions, it's very difficult, and they are able to
Mehrdad,
rouse
a lot of this tension, if I may interject for a moment, a lot of this tension is around America's concern that Iran is developing a nuclear weapon. Should Iran possess nuclear weapons?
Of course not. Iran does not need nuclear weapons. And there is every guarantee given by the international community, from the International Atomic Energy Agency to the UN Supreme Security Council, that Iran, after the nuclear agreement, is not in a position to develop nuclear weapons. What the Americans are saying is that at the end of the sunset clause, once the terms of the current nuclear agreement come to a termination, which is around 2025, then Iran potentially could embark or restart its nuclear program. But that is 2025. We are in 2019. Iran is in no way anywhere near having access to nuclear weapons. So this argument is really a non-starter. Obviously, the nuclear agreement and what it was signed, it did not give the kind of notion that once we reach 2025, then Iran can go ahead and make a nuclear weapon. And the Iranian regime has no inclination wanting to do that. And that's what they have said. So this is really a non-issue. It's just an excuse to ratchet up the pressure in order to get Iran to conform to the wishes of the United States in the region through provocations by some of the United States regional allies like Israel or Saudi Arabia or the United Arab Emirates.
All right, Mehrdad Khonsari in London. Great to have you back. Always appreciate your perspective.